Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm drinking some of that, I probably won't, maybe I'm not drinking the right stuff, but that flu stuff that you put in you heat up some water and you just dump it in. I don't have the flu, but I had like a sinus thing that was just kind of making me feel not great. And so I like drinking those hot cups of whatever they sell when I get like that. And what's better than that in the daytime is drinking the nighttime hot cups of stuff, because that stuff will knock you out. Okay, I want to start with this. Cryptocurrency and its role in ransomware are key issues that need to be addressed by the G7 NATO, according to Joe Biden's security advisor. So I tell you what, it almost makes you wonder if they're intentionally wanting to target cryptocurrency because of things that really don't have to do. It's actually a plus. Based on what I've read, the fact that cryptocurrency is there is a good thing, because it allows the U.S. to track these criminals that are trying to extort money from people, and they can track it. And to me, that's a positive. What if they had cash where these guys could hide it somewhere? So, but I know how the government works, and I smell a rat. Okay, Gold telegraphed 1.3 billion in liquidated cryptocurrency margin calls in the past 24 hours. That's what happens when the market goes down hard. There's a lot of people that are leveraged. Okay, this is good news right here. This is a big deal, I think. Excuse me. Flare, we are extremely grateful for the support from. They just raised $11.3 million in funding. From Kinetic Capital, Digital Currency Group. There's so many of them here. Looks like one of Cardano's funds. That's interesting. And also, the guy that started Litecoin, Charlie Lee, is one of these investors. So this is pretty interesting, and there's a lot of companies that are funding it. It says smart contract platform Flare raised $11.3 million. And then as we go on, it says Flare Network aims to provide smart contract functionality to blockchains that don't offer native support for smart contracts, including Doge, XRP, XLM, Litecoin. You know what I'm wondering is why have they not added the two that people would care about more than any, or at least the one, Bitcoin or Ethereum? I guess Ethereum is a smart contract platform, so you don't even have to do that. But why have they not added Bitcoin? And I've always thought it would be funny when they did add it, because it's going to be F Bitcoin. Okay, RizXRP sent me this. Now, this was a tweet from this guy, Jihan Chu, who's the founder of Kinetic, one of the companies that invested in Flare. And what's interesting about this is, one thing we know from just studying this stuff and studying venture capitalists as well as digital assets and how all this works, I know for a fact that these venture capitalists don't just invest in the equity, they also get their hot hands on the tokens. So you can write it down, and after I saw this tweet, I was like, yep, for sure they're getting tokens. Congrats to Flare on their raise, led by us, joined by Digital Currency Group and these others, Charlie Lee, This is a pre-party for the biggest airdrop since Bitcoin Cash. The biggest airdrop since Bitcoin Cash. Now that caught my attention, because I know all these VC guys they're getting their hot hands on some Flare Spark tokens, and that means we should all feel really excited about what we're going to get. And then Flare tweeted this out today: integration with Algorand is one governance proposal that we think pretty much the entire Flare community would support, unleashing value. I support it. I think Algorand is one of the big dogs in this whole thing. And that's actually, as a side note, that's what we saw with Brad Garlinghouse. Remember, Brad Garlinghouse down in Miami, he took a photo with two of the guys from Algorand. writings on the wall with that one. Okay. This was from Esoteric XRP. I don't think for a moment this XRP lawsuit was decided by Clayton. It goes way above his pay grade. This was a high-level move, and Gensler is continuing the delay tactic. Then it'll all happen at once. XRP status, price, Codius flare, Polysign, Amazon, I think that means, and the new system. Be ready. So I retweeted this and I said, this goes in the All the World's a Stage file. The only other file is the corruption file. There is no investor protection file. I always say, do you feel protected? I do not as an XRP holder. I feel like Jay Clayton screwed us all over. Now, but my point that I'm making there is everything you're watching is a movie unless we're talking corruption from the highest levels, like trying to put roadblocks in front of the best digital asset there is, the greatest ever created, XRP. Okay, so that's where I am, and I even said, pick a file I've picked. Yes, I have picked. I'm sure many of you can guess which file I've picked. All right, I thought this was a great thread. This is from Neats Bucks. Joel Katz's video about CBDCs and NFTs set off a light bulb for me, and I think he revealed something very important that will dispel false narrative that Ripple's CBDC plan does not use XRP. Also, I think I finally figured out what the term flip the switch means. First, he said this regarding CBDCs. Imagine every other major financial institution in the world able to settle every major fiat asset from compatible jurisdictions down to a central bank's ledger in a few seconds. How is that not a very big deal? But then he mentioned the term sidechain of XRPL, and there was an aha moment for me. Now this is going to get super technical, which I don't like to get. Anyway, so he says, so what's a sidechain? Sidechain is basically a fork of a ledger that uses a native asset, the original ledger, while maintaining its own set of rules and its own bookkeeping. For our purposes, this means that contrary to previous beliefs, these CBDCs, previously assumed to be just private XRPL forks, might actually be XRPL sidechains and therefore may in fact still use the native asset XRP. Okay, you might be saying, that's difference between a private ledger and a sidechain. Well, private XRPL would achieve interoperability, and public XRPL with IOUs centrally issued on both ledgers. Then he goes on, let me see if I can grab something out of here. Now, right here. With a sidechain, the CB can flip the switch, and the private and public XRPLs magically become interoperable. And you'll be able to move from any asset from any ledger to any other without resorting to issuing XRP as an IOU on private ledgers. This is true interoperability. And then I'll read his last line here. To sum up, the idea private XRPLs will never use XRP is probably wrong. The type of interoperability CBDC system David is describing seems a lot like a city of sidechains where CBs keep their control. Yet one flip of the switch lowers the walls and two worlds become one. I like that description. Now, I showed you this lady in my last video. Her name is Catherine Hahn, and she was being interviewed on Raoul Paul's channel. And I found this clip that I wanted to play for you. I was just wondering where she might have heard this term.
Let me break it down in kind of two big categories, okay? And we'll talk about each separately.
Sure.
One is what I would call the category of literally internet money, okay? We've had this internet of information, right? The internet has connected billions of people around the world through information. Mm-hmm. But the thing that we don't have and that we've been missing is the internet of value. Why is it that today, if you're over in India, I could send you an email with contents instantly? I could send you a photograph from here to there instantly, but I couldn't send you value, right? And so I think that's one big category, is the internet of value and internet money, which we'll talk about in a second.
Well, you know where that came from. Now, the reason I'm showing her again, I'll show you in a second. But first, John Deaton put out this excellent thread today. He says, a partial historical review of SEC news versus Ripple. The SEC waited 8 years to bring a case against Ripple, allowing individual investors to buy XRP on over 200 exchanges worldwide. In 2015, the DOJ and FinCEN declare XRP a convertible virtual currency. And that woman I just showed you is the one that signed off on this deal, okay? Now, in 2017, when the SEC aggressively sued companies in the digital assets space violating securities laws, it left Ripple and XRP alone. In 2018, the SEC allowed Ripple to purchase a 9% stake in MoneyGram, fully knowing XRP would be transferred to MG, who would in turn immediately sell it in the secondary market on exchanges like Coinbase to individual investors with no connection to or even knowledge of the company Ripple. After more than 2-year investigation into Ripple and its executives, the SEC could not find one instance of fraud or misrepresentation. In 2018, Hinman gratuitously declared Ethereum not a security while collecting over $15 million from his law firm, a member of the Ethereum Alliance. On October 2020, 2 months before Clayton leaves the SEC, One River invests $1 billion into BTC and Ethereum. 2 weeks before filing the case, former SEC Commissioner Grunfest warned Clayton not to file because there was no exigency and investors would lose billions. Grunfest informed Clayton that the SEC made no material distinction between Ethereum and XRP, and if he filed the case, it would call into question the SEC's motive and discretion. Despite this grave warning and new administration coming into power in less than 30 days, Clayton directed a suit against Ripple and XRP on his last full day at the SEC. Less than 3 months later, Clayton accepts a job with One River. Now, this is the article from the block where Grunfest said this to Clayton. He went on to say that XRP and Ether should be subject to the same treatment given that the agency has not illustrated a material distinction. And he says right here, which I put in this tweet, Mickey B. Fresh had sent me this video right here. Imposing security, this is from Grunfest, who's the guy right here. Now, he doesn't say this quote in this video, but I just wanted to show you, this is him right here on stage beside Jay Clayton. And that, asking the question, is Catherine Juan, okay? But in the block article, he says, imposing security laws, obligations on XRP while leaving Ether untouched raises fundamental fairness questions about the exercise of commission discretion, okay? Then listen to this. This is her interviewing Clayton.
I feel like now I'm in a different space, but one of the challenges we had at the government and the Justice Department was, now there are 1,400 different crypto assets, and every day they're adding new ones. How do you guys keep up with this technology?
I know Jay trades crypto from 11:15 to noon. You can't get Jay from 11:15 to noon.
Well, I think some people in Silicon Valley, and full disclosure, I'm on the board of directors of Coinbase. I think some people here in Silicon Valley wish that more regulators and more government personnel would actually use the platforms and the products so that they knew how they worked and where are they falling short, where do they need to improve, and have more of that dialogue. So just if you could speak about education and how
my personal education around this,
or
the commission.
The commission and the senior staff. I know you guys have a very sophisticated working group looking at this. Like, how do they keep up, and how do you expect them to keep up?
I think they've been doing, what you posit is, here's something that has kind of exploded, and how many people around the world are dedicating every waking hour to trying to make money in this space? Millions, in different ways, different places. And how does a 1,000 person enforcement division or add some of our keep up? You know what? It's a great question. We got to do the best we can. And we put together a group. I think that the group of people we have understands this space really well. In fact, other areas in the government call us to figure out how it's working. And then we have to figure out how to have the most impact. And I'm having a very open discussion with the public, with you, about how to have the most impact to bring the protection back to the people who need it in this space.
Yeah, thanks for the protection, Jay. What a jerk that guy is. Now, XRP, the Standard Productions, which is a parody Twitter handle, made me laugh out loud today we've seen all these back and forths of all how these lawyers talk about the SEC and one party's replying to this reply and all this. So XRP, the Standard Productions, this is hilarious. He says, SEC files its reply to Ripple's response to the SEC's reply to Ripple's query to the SEC's request to Ripple's demand to the SEC's subpoena of the May 25th, 2021 letter motion for Local Rule 37.2 conference regarding omnibus discovery matters. And Jeremy Hogan said, and he's laughing, illustrating the absurdity. iTrustCapital had a great tweet today. There was an article or a tweet from Walter Bloomberg, and he says, IRS chief asks Congress for authority to regulate crypto. And then iTrustCapital tweets out, IRS chief wants you to open a crypto IRA. If you want tax advantages where you can buy crypto inside of an IRA and either have tax deferral or have things tax-free, depending on your account type, this is the way to do it. This is the way I do it. iTrustCapital. Go in the description of my video. I have links all over the place so you can download or go to their website and all that. Also, I want to remind you, today, Link2 added Ripple private equity onto their platform. It sold out really, really quick, so it's too late. The only ones that I like that are left on the platform, I like Zipline's the one I told you about the other day. That's drones. Kraken's on here. I like Link2. I own some of that. And then Uphold has sold out again. Uphold has sold out. I can't even count how many times. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that Ripple just keeps selling out and Uphold just keeps selling out on Link2. There's a reason for that. Thanks for listening.